All right, welcome to the Facebook Ads Survival Guide 2021. This is an exclusive webinar for my audience and for our Facebook group members as well, the Facebook Ads Marketers PH. Okay, but before we start, I'd like to introduce myself. So, my name is LJ Jose. I'm a Facebook marketing consultant. I'm located here in Davao City. And I created this guide just to compile those changes and updates, the best practices that you will take. Because sometimes nakakalimutan natin yung mga yun na very essential pala siya. Okay? So those are some of my certifications lang from Facebook, Digital Marketer, and ManyChat din. And you can research kung ano yung mga companies na sinabi ko later if you're not familiar with them or if you're still a beginner. Okay? Pa-raise hand naman kung sino yung mga beginners dito. You can raise your hand to chat or you can you can raise your hand to Zoom or you can also mention in the group chat natin na you're a beginner or starting ka palang learning Facebook ads or if you're a newbie, or kung experience ka na, sige, sabihin mo rin doon. Okay. All right. So for today's discussion, it's mostly top 3 topics lang naman. So first is what you should be doing before running Facebook ads. So there are some preparations, there are some initial setup that you have to do first. Hindi lang naman basta-basta mag-run ka ng ads. Alright? Kung gagawin mo yon, most likely you will encounter a lot of problems that I will be showing you later. Alright? Number 2 is how to recover from a Facebook ads disaster. So, I want to share this guide with everyone and solution steps then, especially for that, because I'm part of a lot of Facebook groups, international and local then. And there's so many problems that are being shared there every day na parang paulit-ulit na lang siya talaga ngayon. And because hindi rin siguro siya accessible or very clear to other people kung ano yung gagawin. So that's why I have written the top errors and solution steps, okay, on how to prevent those errors from happening again. As example, if you have disabled assets or restricted accounts. And number 3, this is the latest kasi this only took effect last April 26, which is the iOS 14 changes and updates to keep you ahead of the game. All right. So if you are ready to tackle these discussion topics, let me know in the chat na ready na kayo. Type in ready if you want us to start na para mabilis tayo ngayon. Let me know in the group chat please kung ready na kayo. Okay, ready na talaga sila lahat. All right. Okay, so mabilisan na po tayo dito sa ating discussion topics. Again, there is no technical demonstration here. Okay, so para makasunod naman kayo, for the replay, I'll announce it later. Okay, so what you should be doing first before running Facebook ads. So this is a question that I'd like to get your answer or your opinion muna, di ba? Sa tingin ninyo, what should you do, di ba? Or what you should be doing first before running Facebook ads. If you've heard some of the stories or experiences, you've watched some of the tutorials on YouTube or researched some of the articles in Google, what do you think is what do you think is the first thing that you should be doing before running Facebook ads? Okay, let me know in the chat. All right, ano sa tingin nyo guys? Okay, this is from there's no right or wrong answer here, but most likely I have my own personal answer then, an opinion. Okay, and first, before you even dive into Facebook ads, you have to learn the basic fundamentals of digital marketing because Facebook advertising is part of the larger and broader concept of digital marketing, diba? So Facebook is only the platform, the medium, but the concept and the fundamentals of it is digital marketing. And you can get any and you can get any tutorial na about digital marketing 101 on YouTube, on Google, on my YouTube channel as well. So yun, you just have to learn the basic fundamentals muna of digital marketing. Next is to sorry. Next is to familiarize yourself with a platform that you'll be working on, including its jargons. So what's the platform that we will be working on if you're using Facebook ads? Of course, it's Facebook, diba? And particularly, we're using Business Manager or Ads Manager. Now, you may encounter like different types of setups and different types of settings, but you have to be able to identify kung ano yung mga settings na yun and ano yung mga assets na yun. And some examples here would be the difference between your personal Facebook account assets versus your business assets. Okay? Does anyone know, or does anyone know na how to differentiate between your personal assets and your business assets? Okay? Bigyan natin ng example here. Alright? So for personal assets, let's not get confused because there are some people na nagpo-post sa groups, nagtatanong din sa akin personally, whether sa inbox ko or email or magko-comment sa YouTube or magko-comment sila sa Facebook posts ko, is that paminsan they don't know kung paano nila i-differentiate yung personal accounts versus the business accounts or assets. So let's be clear on that when we are talking about those assets dito sa webinar na to. For personal assets, we're talking about your personal Facebook account or profile and your personal ad account. Okay? Who here knows that for every personal Facebook account or profile, you have your own personal ad account or ads manager? Okay? Raise your hand if you know that. Some of these concepts are very basic, but these are the fundamentals of Facebook ads. All right? So raise your hand if you know those. So personal Facebook account mo, yung ginagamit mo, every day for friends, for commenting and whatever. And the personal ad account is most likely what you are using if you are boosting a post or nag-list kayo ng item sa marketplace and you want to run that as an ad under your personal account. Okay? Now, ang isa lang advice ko dyan sa personal ad account, don't ever use that. Okay, don't ever use that unless wala ka ng ibang choice. Okay? Because Facebook doesn't like using your personal ad account for that. They have it defaulted when you're boosting posts on your Facebook page or boosting a marketplace listing, but don't use that. Okay? For business assets naman, when we're talking about business assets, number one, that is the Facebook Business Manager. That is what professional advertisers use when we are running Facebook ads, whether for local or international man. Number two is Facebook page. Pag sinabing Facebook page, this is not your personal Facebook account. This is for business, diba? Yung maggagawa ka talaga ng sariling page. Whether for yourself, say for example, yung page ko na LJ Jose, that's a Facebook business page, and for other company pages then. And then ad account, okay? An ad account is the one under your business manager. This is being created under your business manager. So to differentiate that, personal assets, again, di ba meron siyang personal ad account? And then for business assets, meron din siyang ad account, but it has to be under the business manager. Nakapasok siya doon sa loob ng business manager na yun. Okay? And number four is the Facebook Pixel. So Facebook Pixel is what we use for tracking of people and users' actions on your website. Number five is a website, but it's optional. Okay, hindi naman lahat ng businesses or even, especially locally, ay gumagamit ng website. Some are using just their Facebook page to conduct their business and Facebook ads as well. Okay. All right. Now, third point is the initial setup of your personal account and business manager. So there are a few key topics and in preparation for you to run Facebook ads to avoid the problems in the future, to avoid those any errors in the future, which I will also be showing you. So for the personal account, the first thing that I would recommend is that you have to confirm your identity in your personal Facebook account by submitting your ID. If you don't do this now, chances are in the future when you're running Facebook ads, you will be required to do so. And magsa-stop yung ads mo or madi-disable mo na yung account since hindi confirmed yung identity mo. Okay? So yung name mo, your birthday, and photo on your ID na isasubmit mo, may listahan naman si Facebook ng mga IDs na pwede. Usually yung mga internationally recognized na mga IDs like passport, driver's license, and so on. So yung information doon, it must match what's on your personal Facebook account. So kung ano yung nakalagay na name mo doon, yung birthday, and yung profile photo mo sa personal account. Okay? So that's to make sure that your personal Facebook account is confirmed identity na siya. In the future, the benefit of that is that you can run ads for social issues, politics, elections, and other stuff na mga special categories din. Okay? So this is securing muna your personal Facebook account so that in the future, hindi mo na kailangan siya gawin or hindi siya makakaabala sa operations mo or operations din ng client mo. Number 2 is to turn on the two-factor authentication. Okay? So who here has already turned on their two-factor authentication sa kanilang personal Facebook account? Raise your hand please if you know that. Okay? All right, very good, very good. So what is the importance of that? You can find these in your settings naman guys, okay? Hindi ko siya ma-demonstrate here, but you can find these in your settings for two-factor authentication. So number 1, it's for security, di ba? To prevent hackers going into your account and then running ads on your payment method and whatnot, all right? And the second reason is that may mga errors na nag-pop up before when we're running ads na hindi magra-run ng ads or na-disable yung assets because hindi pa naka-turn on yung two-factor authentication. So that's why I put it here as a prerequisite. And number 3, do not use your personal Facebook account's ads manager. Okay? So yun, just don't use that ads manager ng personal account niyo kasi limited yung parang other functions niya compared to an ad account under Business Manager. All right? Okay, clear so far ba? Any questions about, the initial preparations for your personal account? Let me know sa chat. Okay, I hope that you'll be able to accomplish these later because it's very simple lang naman to set this up and it will not take a lot of your time. For the identity confirmation, maka-confirm yung identity mo between 24 to 72 hours siguro. Sometimes it can take longer. I've heard from other people that it can take longer. Depende sa accuracy ng information sa ID nila and sa personal Facebook account nila. Okay? No questions so far ba? Ayan. From Jam, saan po makikita yung pag-confirm ng identity? Just go to settings. Makikita mo lang yun sa settings. Okay? Alright, now for the Business Manager account naman. Okay, Business Manager account. So after creating your Business Manager account for the first time, how do you create that? You just go to business.facebook.com. So once you go through the process of that, and then natapos ka na, there might be a prompt. Okay, you may be asked to confirm your identity again by submitting an ID. So different siya eh. Different to. So yung first identity confirmation was for your personal Facebook account. And then when you create a Business Manager, lalo na pag bago talaga, you madi-disable muna siya at first. Kasi you may be asked to submit ID again for your business account. Okay? So you have to submit it right away. Wag mo hintayin na umabot ang 30 days kasi pag lumagpas na yung 30 days from that time that you were asked to submit your ID, madi-disable na talaga siya, hindi mo na magagamit. Okay? So you have to do it right away. Number 2, if you have a website or will be using that website for your Facebook ads, you have to verify your domain first. And how to do that, just check the tutorial on my YouTube channel later. Okay? So verifying your domain is very important, especially if you are redirecting people to a website from your Facebook ads. Okay? So say for example, if it is your own website or a client's website or third-party websites talaga. But if you don't have a website naman, you can just create a simple website first and then verify your domain. Okay? It's optional naman actually, but I would recommend that you just create a simple website first para lang for the purpose of verifying that domain. So why are we, kahit hindi mo naman kailangan ng website or sa Facebook page ka lang nag-conduct ng business, why do you still need to verify your domain, create the website, and whatnot? Because even though not everyone is required to verify their business manager, you have to do it in advance and don't wait for Facebook to tell you to do so. So this is one of those um, steps that you have to take, di ba? Kasi if hindi verified ang business manager account mo, there are instances that you will not be able to run ads for that, disable or restrict. Okay? So, and in verifying a business manager account, you are required to enter a domain kasi, the website. And how do you, ano yung ilalagay mo dun sa website if wala ka namang verified domain or if wala kang nagawang website? Alright? And another step is that if you're going to go for business manager verification, this requires the minimum business documents such as a BIR document and the DTI document to be uploaded. So the verification process can take a few days to a few weeks. Okay? So you see guys, we're doing, you have to do all of the preparation in the back end. Kasi pag okay na yung preparation ninyo and all of the settings and the setup, that dapat wala na kayong masyadong magiging problems when it comes to these things. There are instances that nagra-run na yung ads, di ba? Na-disable yung ad account. And this ad account is under a specific business manager. Okay? Tapos, for them to submit an appeal, for their disabled ad account, they are being required by Facebook to undergo business verification, di ba? So they can't run their ads, they can't request for an appeal or request a review until they are able to verify their business manager. So basically, it's required now, and it's kind of like a prerequisite if you want to keep on running ads. Kasi most likely, Facebook will roll this out to all accounts that lahat dapat ng mga business managers is that verify dapat yung business. Okay? Hindi bine-verify dito yung account mo or yung pangalan mo or whatever, or pangalan ng business manager or whatever. Bine-verify yung business documents. Okay? So that's why you need to have those business documents then. All right. Okay. And then under the business manager account then, you have to add a backup admin in your business manager in case something happens to your personal Facebook account. Okay? So sino na naka-experience dito na na-restrict yung kanilang personal Facebook account? As in wala kang magagawa na ads or related to business manager? Okay? Ako mga ilang times na rin, pero in the past yon, like a few years ago, sunod-sunod na palagi akong nare-restrict yung personal Facebook account ko. And that's why it's important na meron kang backup admin in your business manager. Whether it's a backup Facebook account mo, pangalawang account, or maybe a family member, or a team member, or a coworker, na someone that you trust, na ma-access yung business manager na yon just in case mawawalan ka ng access due to a restriction. Okay? And number 6 is make sure that everyone who has access to your business manager is required to turn on the two-factor authentication. So this is for security purposes as well. In the past few weeks, I've had students na nag-report sa akin na na-hack sila, nag-spend yung ad account nila tapos yung card nila na charge ng malalaking amounts. Okay? And the reason for that is that there are people now who are really trying to access personal accounts, and especially if those are connected to a business manager and my payment method and whatever. So yun, that's why you have to be very vigilant with your accounts. You always have to check them. You always need to have notifications turned on, especially if those are for your payment methods and whatnot. And you have to watch out for those notifications as well. Baka makakita ka na lang na sobrang daming email notifications na na-approve pala tong ad na to and whatever. So yun, that would be a sign na, and if you don't recognize that, then you have to report it right away. There is a guide and article naman on what to do when your Facebook account is hacked or yung ginamit nga yung account mo to spend money on Facebook and whatnot. And Facebook will most likely reverse the charges once they see it. Okay? So yun lang. To prevent that, make sure that all of the security settings are set for your business manager account. All right. Number 7, for those who will be using a website for their Facebook ads, okay? So once your domain is verified, na-verify na siya under your business manager, then you'll need to set up your Pixel Events priority list. So this is part of the iOS 14 updates and changes as well, all right? If you're not using a website and you only have a website for domain verification purposes and business manager verification purposes, and you're not really conducting any business there, puro sa Facebook page nyo lang, doon kayo nag-accept ng mga orders, doon kayo nag-accept ng mga inquiries, nagpa-process, then no need to set up the Pixel Events priority list. But if you are, especially for e-commerce, especially for international clients or websites, and then, fully automated and online yung kanilang processes sa website, is that they have to set up the Pixel Events priority list. And you can also find a tutorial of that on my YouTube channel. Okay? Number 8 here, organize your business manager assets such as adding a Facebook page, creating an ad account, and connecting your payment method. Guys, kailangan dapat organized yung pag-ayos ninyo ng business manager. Pag magulo kasi yan, chances are hindi mo na alam kung ano yung nangyayari. At pag ma-disable ka or ma-restrict ka, hindi mo na rin alam kung ano yung na-connect doon at hindi na-connect doon, kung paano mo kukunin, paano mo ayusin, and all of that. So always organize it and tanggalan niyo ng access yung mga people na hindi kailangan ma-access, tanggalin niyo yung mga assets na hindi na kailangan, and all of that. So you have to keep on reviewing those, what do you call that, the account quality. As part of best practice, I review the account quality page ng personal account ko and business manager accounts every week to see if there were ads na disapproved ba, meron bang mga na-disable na mga ad account, na-restrict na business manager, and all. Kasi paminsan, si Facebook, hindi yan siya nagsisend ng mga notification na, hey, your business manager is disabled. Hey, your ad account has been restricted, and blah, blah, blah. There are some instances na nangyari sa akin yun, na wala talagang notification from Facebook. That's why I have to keep on checking and always be alert of those things. Okay? So, nung just a few weeks ago, 2 business manager ang hindi na namin ma-recover. It's a good thing na hindi yun yung mga main na ginagamit namin na business manager. So those were like for practice purposes, demo purposes, and whatnot. So hindi na talaga namin ma-recover, even though in the past months, starting January, February, March, paulit-ulit siyang nare-restrict. And paulit-ulit naman din siyang nare-reverse ni Facebook. Binabalik niya sa amin. Ngayon na lang, yung parang ayaw na niya talaga. Which is, I'm not sure what the reason is. Pa rin, it could be na parang quota na daw kami sa reversals ng mga appeals and all of that. Kaya yun, ayaw na talaga kami pagbigyan. Alright? And number 9 naman, so ready your backup accounts. So what I say when what I mean by backup accounts is not just your accounts, diba? For other people then, as I mentioned kanina, who will be accessing yung business manager and yung mga assets na yon. Hindi pwede na ikaw lang mag-isa yung may access doon. Kasi there might come a time na marirestrict ka yung personal account mo so you can't do anything. Whether mistake ba ni Facebook or mistake mo, may policy violation ka or whatever, meron ka talaga dapat na backup account. Okay? So, with Business Manager, you can create 2 business managers kasi. Pag na-set up mo na yung isang business manager, okay na yon. For the second business manager, this will just have partner access to your first business manager. Okay? Same, dapat may backup admin din. Dapat, if you have other pages then, you can put it there, or similar pages to your main page para if ever ma-disable nga. For the ad accounts, wala kang magagawa doon. So you have to really create the ad accounts in the second business manager. Okay? Yung number 10 dyan, wala talaga yan. Nagkamali lang ako. Alright, any questions so far? So some of these are very technical actually. And you can research naman the methods on how to do this step by step. Hindi ko lang siya mapakita here because of the limited time that we have. Okay? So, nagigets ba guys yung mga sinasabi ko about these personal accounts, business manager accounts and whatnot. Okay, who here has recently experienced an error of Facebook ads? Whether it's account restriction, ad account disabled, business manager disabled, um, other Facebook page is restricted, deleted then or whatever. Who has experienced that recently? Because that will be our next topic. Okay, from Julius. If you're generating leads and accepting orders in your website, will this be the ideal prioritization? Yes, that's right. Highest would still be purchase, and then lead, add to cart, lowest view content. I would include initiate checkout between lead and add to cart. Ayun. Okay. Anyone who has experienced any errors recently of their assets? Madalas ang mga errors na nakikita ko ngayon sa mga different Facebook groups and from students as well. Okay, wala naman ba? Okay, that's good for a lot of you guys who are already doing this. And for those who are not yet doing this, then pay attention because you may be receiving these types of errors in the future. All right? So how to recover from a Facebook ads disaster and prevent it from happening again. So some examples are disabled assets, restricted accounts, and etc. So what we do is that we follow the documentation of Facebook. Kung ano yung pinapagawa nila na steps, we will have to follow them. You follow the correct process. Yung iba may mga shortcut or whatever. There's no guarantee naman din talaga that those will work. Okay? So top errors that you'll get in Facebook ads with the solution steps, there's minimal solutions actually na magagawa mo, but it's important that you have to follow the correct process. And if you encounter any of the errors that are shown here, the first thing to do is not panic. Okay? Who has done that na ba? Na parang nagpanic, parang na-disapprove yung mga ads, na restrict yung account ko and all of that. I've done that before, especially nung first time ko na-experience yung mga iba't ibang errors na yon. Ngayon, parang wala na lang. Okay, disapprove yung ad, sige, baguhin natin. Restricted yung business manager, sige, mag-submit tayo ng appeal and then gamit mo na tayo ng iba. So, yun. So, just follow the solution steps and always refresh or revisit your accounts to check on updates because sometimes Facebook will not notify you. Okay? So, Facebook will really not notify you sometimes if paminsan okay na yung appeal mo pala or okay na pala yung ad, nawawala yung mga notifications na yun recently from other people who have reported it as well. Okay, so let's go muna to your personal Facebook account. Okay, so for the personal Facebook account, na-disabled siya. And then may message, advertising access restricted. So anong meaning nito? You're restricted from everything related to Facebook ads. You can't access Business Manager, you can't create ads, you can't run ads. Anything that is related to the business side of Facebook, of your account, you can't do anything anymore. All right? You can do the normal stuff that a usual user does with their personal Facebook account, but advertising and business stuff, hindi na pwede. Okay? The solution for this is that normally you will have the option to request a review or verify your ID. Okay? And if you're still waiting on that, then you can use a family member's personal Facebook ad account muna for the meantime. Kasi you also cannot use your personal ad account here. Your personal Facebook ad account, I mean. Okay? So everything has to be verified beforehand so that you will be ma-prevent yung mga errors na ganito. Kagaya nito, usually ang solution nito would be just verify ID and upload ID actually. Yun yung hinihingi nila. Pero if hindi, request review lang nito. Okay? Ito namang personal ad account. Okay? Personal ad account na disabled due to advertising access restricted or policy violation. There are times actually na i-disable ni Facebook yung personal ad account mo kahit wala ka namang ginawa. So, nangyari na rin yan a few times sa akin na wala akong ginawa, walang activity, anything, and then i-disable lang kaagad. Tapos yung reason is that very vague. Circumventing systems ba, non-functioning landing page, or whatever. So ang solution lang dyan is to follow the prompts to request a review or verify your ID. Actually, paulit-ulit lang tong solution steps na to, but it would be beneficial if you know kung ano yung gagawin talaga dapat. Okay? And hindi yung magpapanik ka na lang at ipopost mo sa Facebook group na, ano gagawin pala dito? Okay? Alright, next. Dito naman tayo sa personal ad account disabled due to payment method. Okay? So, nangyayari ito if may unsettled balance ka pa kay Facebook na ginamit mo yung personal ad account mo dati to run ads. Say, for example, Boost Post or Marketplace listing, hindi na-charge yung card mo, whether credit or debit card, whether ano ba man yung ginamit mo na payment method, di ba? So, ang solution lang dyan is to add a different payment method or change or update the payment method. Okay? So, yun lang yun siya. And it should go back na. Mare-reverse na siya. Hindi na siya madi-disable once nag-update na yung system. Business Manager account. Okay? So, if ang Business Manager account is disabled or restricted due to policy violation, alright? So, this is a big thing. This is a big thing pag ito yung nangyari. Kasi yung mga assets mo nandoon is hindi mo mare-recover unless ma-reverse na yung decision ni Facebook. So yung Facebook page mo na naka-connect doon, hindi mo na mata-transfer to another business manager. Magagamit mo pa rin siya, but you cannot manage it under business manager. Yung ad accounts there will all be disabled. Yung pixel will also be disabled at hindi mo na makikita yung data there. So it's a big thing. Parang it will really stop the entire business operations and all of that. So the solution is to request review muna or use a family member's personal Facebook ad account for the meantime to create a new business manager. Sorry, not a personal Facebook ad account. Use a family member's personal Facebook account or profile to create a new business manager. That's why it's important that you have a backup business manager of it. And you are most likely, parang na-condition ka na anytime this can happen, so we have to be quick and agile in, having our backup plans. Alright, so yun lang. Many times na ito nangyari sa akin, many times na na-reverse din, and there are some times na hindi talaga na-reverse yung decision. Parang naging final decision na siya. Kahit gaanong appeal ang gawin ko, ayaw pa rin. Ngayon kasi dati, kahit ilang appeal ang ginagawa ko, nare-reverse siya. Ngayon, parang first pa lang, final decision na sila kaagad. So, very strict na talaga si Facebook ngayon. Let me answer muna this question pala. Sharing a Facebook pixel to or from business partners is risky and unsafe. It's okay lang. It's okay. Pero kasi pag na-disable yun, disable din yung pixel. Pag na-disable yung business manager, madi-disable yung pixel under that. So, yung shinare mo na pixel na yun to another business manager, disable din siya. Yung pixel lang. Not the other business manager kung saan mo shinare. The rule kasi ngayon is that one ad account, one Facebook pixel, and one verified domain. Sila lang dapat yung nagkaka-connect. Hindi yung gagamit ka ng isang pixel sa 5 ad account and all. So that is suspicious na. And that is not normal behavior or activity. And nade-detect na ni Facebook yun. Alright? Yes, Jules? Meron kang question?
Yes, bro. Relating dun sa sa one ad account, one Facebook pixel, one
Domain.
One domain. Kasi si client ang setup niya is bali dalawa na yung website niya. So the reason why gumawa ng panibagong website is that for a separate brand, pero the offer are entirely the same. So creating a new pixel, parang sabi ko, like parang hindi siya magme-make sense, parang sayang lang yung data. Tama ba? So okay ba yon na hindi na ako gumawa ng another pixel, or kailangan gumawa pa rin since new website na siya?
For best practice, kailangan gumawa ka na ng bago kasi if i-verify mo din yung domain ng website na yun, right? Or verified na siya.
I just verified it now, bro.
Okay. So, dapat ibang pixel na yon kasi makikita na yun ni Facebook na iba. Kasi before, walang mga domain verification and all of that. So, nakikita nila on the back end, pero hindi sila ganun ka-strict. But because of the changes now, and for security and privacy and all of it, so parang 1:1:1 na siya ngayon. Para
Okay,
sa
so even entirely the same offer, no? Like sharing of data talagang foul na siya.
Yes, oo. Kasi ibang website na siya eh. So technically, under policies, parang hindi kasi siya dapat ginagawa. Yung parang sharing of the data in other websites.
Thanks.
Okay, sure. Anuhin mo lang naman yun eh. Just create the Pixel in Business Manager and then just assign it in another ad account. And then of course, lahat na sa Business Manager naman for the second verified domain.
Yep.
Okay? So, kailangan medyo specific and technical na yung some of the details now that we have to pay attention to din as Facebook is getting smarter and stricter. So, we also have to, comply. So, there are some practices namin before that we cannot apply it, anymore. And we have to be careful as well because some of the changes and updates are very new. Even Facebook is very new to the changes with iOS 14 and Apple and whatever, yung mga away-away nila dyan. So we are, walking on eggshells pa ngayon. And we are being very observant on what's happening to these changes. Okay. Alright, continue tayo. Okay, business manager disabled or restricted and it needs business verification. This is very common nowadays. Walang araw na hindi ko nakikita tong problem na to sa Facebook groups kung saan ako or where I belong to, di ba? So, the solution is to go through the business manager verification process. And the tutorial for local dito sa atin, sa Philippines, is also uploaded on my YouTube channel din. So, check nyo na lang there. For the step-by-step tutorial on how I verify a business manager. Okay. Also, in working with clients, whether local or international clients, they must have their own business manager, and it also needs to be verified. Kasi kung hindi verified, most likely you will be asked to verify it once you start running the ads. I-disable mo na yung ads or yung ad account, and for you to submit the appeal, you will be required to undergo business manager verification. O di ba? Parang dinudol ka na nag-run ng ads, tapos ay, stop muna namin, kailangan mo pala mag-verify muna ng business manager. So you have to do that in advance na lang. Alright? So in order to do that, if you're doing it for your own business, then you need to have the documents. Minimum is BIR and DTI documents. And then for international naman, there are requirements listed kay Facebook on ano yung mga documents na isasubmit, especially for LLCs or corporations in different countries and whatever. Okay, so once na-verify na yung business manager na yan and all good na, again, it may take from a few days to a few weeks. But then, pag okay na siya, then okay na ulit dapat yung ad account mo, nag-run na ulit yung ads kung na-disable man siya just because of that reason. Right? And then ads manager. So for ads manager, disapproved ad. Okay? So yun lang naman ang top error siguro sa ads manager na yun, especially for the disapproved ad. Okay? Yung other errors is that tackle naman natin. If you have experienced other types of errors na hindi ko na-discuss, let me know here. So for the solution for a disapproved ad, number one, first and foremost, do not delete the ad. Okay? Nothing is truly deleted sa ads manager. Kasi kahit ma-delete yan, makikita pa rin yan ni Facebook. Kahit deleted yan, if ako naka-add sa sa ad account ko, makikita ko pa rin yan. It's just, knowing where to find it. Okay? So, the solution is to not delete the ad. And the next step is to review the entire ad first. Okay? Kailangan mo i-review yung entire ad. You have to check that everything is compliant with Facebook ads policy. So ano ba itong mga Facebook ads policies? Marami sila. I-search mo na lang at basahin mo ng maigi. Okay? Not all products, not all industries, not all niches ay pwede i-advertise kay Facebook. So dati, actually, one of the mistakes ko yan was that I accepted a client, an MLM client, na hindi FDA approved yung mga supplements and products nila. So that was a big flag, and that almost crushed my entire business manager, and apektuhan yung other clients 10 years ago. So I learned from that na not to accept mga shady na mga products or clients or mga niches or industries, diba? If you will look at the case studies ni Facebook or success stories, you can research it. Facebook ads, case studies, or Facebook ad success stories from the Facebook website talaga, Facebook business website. You will know kung ano yung mga niches or industries or products na pinapabora ni Facebook. Okay? So you will get an idea there kung ano yung mga okay pala i-advertise kay Facebook. So there's a lot. There's a lot actually. Okay? So once you have checked everything, diba, if you are 100% sure na yung disapproval reason is a mistake or vague lang siya, that happens a lot of times na vague yung disapproval reason. What do we mean when we say vague? So hindi clear. Generic lang yung reason na bakit dinisapprove, whether circumventing systems, non-functioning landing page, work from home opportunities daw, weapons or nudity, yung mga ganun-ganun na mga disapproval reason. Tapos pagtingin mo sa ad mo, hindi match. Diba? Hindi naman match doon. So, you just request a review. Okay? Automated na yung process na yan. Just click request review. Wala na yung dati na parang nagsusulat pa kami ng nobela, yung explanation namin and all of that. Ngayon, isang click na lang. Or pwede through chat support din. Okay? Now, if you think naman that your ad copy or creative might be violating policies, or sa tingin, or hindi ka sure, hindi ka 100% sure, parang may gray area, di ba? Then go ahead and edit your ad. Whether it's something in your ad copy siguro na nag-trigger it, di ba? Palitan mo lang. And then, or maybe in your creative, in the video or in the image, there's something there siguro na nakita nila na against policy pala, then go ahead and change it. Okay, edit the ad. Once you edit the ad and publish it, it will go through the approval process again. So there's no need to request a review. There's no need to submit to chat support or whatever. So edit mo lang yung ad and then submit again. It will go through the review process ulit. And then wait ka lang kung ano yung magiging decision. Okay? So another question is, if the ad is disapproved, can I change the video that I used for the ad? Yes, you can change the creative. You can edit it. Submit again. Publish the ad. Okay? All right. Any questions about these top errors and their solution steps, guys? Okay, any questions pa ba about this before we move on to the next? So this is almost medyo technical siya, guys, right? That's okay. Kasi paminsan Facebook ads is really a technical, thing. Dati siguro easy lang siya, boost and whatever. Ngayon, there's so many things na kailangan i-consider, okay? And even us na mga veteran na here, who've been a lot of years, paminsan naninibago rin sa updates and changes. So we are sharing this information with you para hindi nyo makommit din yung mga mistakes namin before. Okay? Learning from our mistakes. All right, let's go na to the iOS 14 changes and updates. So these came into effect on April 26, 2021. So imagine, nung April 26, ang aga-aga ko nagising nun, just to create experiments ng mga campaigns sa aming mga accounts niya. So we want to see what the difference is kasi, 'di ba? So we created some campaigns, nag-experiment, nag-A/B testing, and see kung ano yung magiging results. Okay? Still ngayon, we're still trying to get data and experimenting, but we have insights na specifically on this. And this is some of these changes kasi are very applicable lang if you're using a website or an app for your ads. Okay, so this is an example of that. So the iOS 14 changes is that it gears towards privacy. Okay, Apple is pro privacy. They want more. They want the user to have more control of their privacy when it comes to their devices, their Apple devices. So when you already update to iOS 14.5 or to the latest version, natapos na yung update and all of that, and when you open your Facebook or Instagram here as an example, you will get this message from Facebook muna, di ba? So, actually, dinagdag lang nila itong naka-red. So, yung first version, ito actually yung first version ng notice na yan. So, this was the first version, itong nasa left. Okay? And then they updated that prompt para mas ganahan daw yung mga users na i-allow yung tracking. So, ito yung updated. Nakalagay dito, help keep Facebook free of charge. Diba? Help keep Facebook free of charge daw. So when you tap continue, pag tap nyo yung continue dyan, ito na yung makikita nyo on the right. Okay? So ito na yung ATT prompt. So app tracking transparency. Yun ang ibig sabihin nun. So Facebook would like permission to track you across apps and websites owned by other companies. Okay? So either tap ka ng ask app not to track or allow tracking. If nag-exit ka here na screen, wala kang pinili, magdi-default siya to na hindi ka i-track. Okay? Magdi-default siya to not to track ka. Alright? So yun yung prompt na yan. And if hindi ka kasi if the user opted out of tracking, hindi na matatrack yung mga actions nila at saka yung mga ginagawa nila on your website or app. So that's a very big thing, especially for the international clients. Tayo dito in the Philippines, there's a large percentage who are not using websites connected to their Facebook ads, especially local sellers, online sellers, micro sellers, puro Facebook lang lahat. And Messenger lang din. So they're not entirely affected with this. So here are some changes and updates summary. So isa-summarize ko lang kasi there's a lot actually. Some are not even applicable na to us kasi some are specific to apps or app developers or app companies din. So yeah. So now, Apple users can opt out of tracking unlike in the previous iOS versions. Okay? This affects ads that redirect people to a website or an app. And this already took effect last April 26, 2021. This doesn't only affect Facebook, but all other apps that collect data. Okay? So, example, other apps then, Instagram, WhatsApp, TikTok, Twitter, Snapchat, any app that collects data are required to show the APP prompt. Okay? Whether they will opt out of tracking or they will allow the app to track them. Okay? So what is happening now? Since nag-take effect na yung change na yon noong April 26, what is happening now? Okay? So there is less data available in Ads Manager and the data is delayed up to 3 days. So say for example, may mga nag-view ng website mo, may pixel doon, so naka-track, may mga nag-add to cart, may nag-initiate checkout, may nag-purchase, may nag-play ng video, and all of that. Hindi siya real-time mare-report sa Ads Manager. It can take up to 3 days before mag-show up yung report there na sa purchase, let's say you're using Shopify. And then today, may nag-purchase. Makikita mo yun sa notifications or sa back-end ng Shopify account mo or nyo na may nag-purchase nga. Alright? Pero sa Ads Manager, wala kang makita na report na purchase today. Alright? So most likely, after 3 days pa yan mag-a-appear. Diba? Pag tinignan niyo ulit doon, yung purchase, let's say, 3 days from now, nakita kayo ng purchase na record doon, pero so far, wala pa nag-purchase sa website. Diba? On that day. So, yun yung report na yon na delay nga talaga siya because of these iOS 14 updates and changes. Alright? Data is aggregated. So ano daw ibig sabihin ng aggregated? Kukuha muna ako ng dictionary ha. Joke lang. Okay. Meaning that the user's actions is being summarized based on the highest event priority of the last action taken. Okay, mahirap yun intindihin. Ayusin natin. So, let's say, gagamitin kong example dito si Julius. So, si Julius, pumunta siya sa website ko, tinignan niya lahat ng pages and all of that. Natatrack siya doon kasi nag-opt-in siya for tracking niya, di ba? Um, and then, nag-view content siya, nag-add to cart, initiate checkout, add payment info, up to purchase. Okay? Ang meaning nun is that lahat ng data na yon, lahat ng actions na yon, sinummarize na lang siya to one action, which is the highest priority of the last action taken. Depende yun sa pag-set up ng priority list ng pixel event. So say for example, yung highest priority dun sa pixel event list ko is purchase. Purchase lang yung mare-report sa Ads Manager. Kahit ginawa ni Julius lahat yung view content, yung add to cart, initiate checkout, and whatnot. Di mo na makikita yon. Diretso purchase na lang, isa magka-count na ng 1 kaagad doon. So yun ang ibig sabihin ng data is aggregated. Kino-combine na ni Facebook and ire-report lang niya kung ano yung last action taken. Okay? Let me answer this question here. Would this mean delayed sales? No, it doesn't mean delayed sales because if your checkout option naman and your purchase option is in real time, say for example sa Shopify or sa WooCommerce nga sa website, papasok naman yung purchase na yon sa inyo, sa report ninyo for WooCommerce or sa Shopify ninyo or wherever. Yung pag-report lang niya sa Ads Manager, hindi mo makikita kaagad na nagre-reflect sa Ads Manager na may purchase today. Pero bakit sa back-end meron? Sa front-end, sa Ads Manager, bakit wala nagre-report? So, delayed lang yung reporting, not delayed yung sale. Okay? Possible delayed sales report, so making counter-checking manually is a must. Yes, that's right. We don't count anymore yung results sa Ads Manager, especially for purchases. Kasi again, it can take up to 3 days, delayed yung data, and data is aggregated pa. Nagko-combine sila. So, hindi mo na talaga ngayon malalaman unless you have previous data which you can estimate from. So, if you were already running Facebook ads before, you have purchase conversion ng mga campaigns, you can estimate from that data based on your ad spend, based on your settings then. But for you to really track it ngayon is you have to do first-party tracking or first-party data collection, which is on your own website. If you're using a website, you have to check yung successful na mga sales doon, or if this is a lead generation campaign doon sa email list ninyo, you have to manually calculate ngayon. Kasi nga, hindi na reliable yung Ads Manager. Okay? And limited attribution of only up to 7 days after clicking the ad. So, anong ibig sabihin daw ng attribution? So, attribution is that yung parang saan ang galing or kanino galing yung action na yon within a specific window period. So, let me use another example here. So, let's say si Joms is that nag-click ng ad ko and napunta siya sa website ko nga, di ba? And hindi siya nag-purchase or anything from there. Okay? So, after 7 days, hindi yun maka-count. Kasi, if, let's say, bumalik siya sa website ko on the 8th day, na-remember niyo na on the 8th day, kailangan ko pala i-purchase yung course ni LJ kasi, magde-deadline na. Diba? Nanggaling pa rin siya actually sa ad previously in the past 8 days. Pero, once he successfully purchases yung anything sa website or course, hindi na maka-count yun sa Ads Manager. Kasi, up to 7 days after clicking the ad, yung attribution setting lang. Okay? There are other available attribution settings, pero the highest is 7 days. Dati kasi was 28 days. Diba? So, even if after 3 weeks pa siya nag-purchase from clicking or viewing the ad, maka-count pa rin siya sa results or Ads Manager. Now, if lumampas na ng 7 days at hindi pa siya nag-purchase, hindi pa siya nagtitake ng action, hindi makakount yung actions na yun sa reporting sa ads manager. Unless na-retarget sila ng ad ulit. Okay? And then they click the ad ulit. So parang nare-refresh. So retargeting is still needed, is still, parang kailangan pa rin kasi yung attribution window period is limited na lang to 7 days. Okay? If you can't track user actions and generate results, then your campaigns won't optimize. All right? Kasi the rule for optimization is that, especially for conversion campaigns, is that 50 conversions per week dapat. And if hindi umabot doon, or 50 events per week, if hindi umabot doon, hindi mag-optimize, hindi mag-exit ng learning phase yung ad set or campaign na yon. Alright? Therefore, hindi siya mag-optimize. Kasi, hindi nga natatrack yung user actions. Hindi nag-generate yung results. Yung results is delayed. Yung results is aggregated pa. So, hindi talaga siya ma-optimize kaagad. Diba? And you can only optimize pixel events on a verified domain. Okay? Verified domain. Say, for example, if you're directing traffic to your Lazada store, Shopee store, Amazon store, Etsy, and whatever, and eBay or whatever pa ng mga ganon, you don't own those domains eh. Diba? So, hindi ma-optimize yung pixel events there. There is an exception actually, but this is a very technical exception. Say, for example, I have my own Shopify account. Diba? And then, hindi siya full domain. When I say full domain, let's say, an example, let's say may shop ako, ljose.com, and it's under Shopify. Okay? Ang ginawa ko lang is that parang naging ljose.myshopify.com. Yun yung gagamitin ko. Kasi parang ayaw ko muna bilhin yung domain talaga na ljose.com. Okay? Now, myshopify.com is part of the public suffix list. You may encounter this in the future. You can research about this, but this is not actually being talked about a lot. MyShopify.com is part of the public suffix list, which means na if part ng public suffix list yung website na yon and may subdomain ka doon, pwede siya i-verify. Okay? Pwede siya i-verify. So, that's one of the small details na hindi talaga mini-mention, but that was during our partner webinar with Facebook. They mentioned na pwede yon. And it's being done na, actually. But very limited. Not all websites na may mga subdomain are allowed to be verified or included in the public suffix list. Okay. So yes, very technical talaga to. You can just read about it naman in the Facebook help section about iOS 14 changes. And I'll show you the resource center later as well here para makita ninyo where to find those information naman that can affect your campaigns. All right, more information on what is happening now. So there's less data for website custom audiences, which can mess up the audience pool. So yung targeting, since less na yung website custom audiences, and yung mga custom audiences na yon is that limited yung number of days, di ba? Some custom audiences maximum is 180 days lang. So as nagmo-move yung days, at hindi na-replenish ng maraming new audience, new people dun sa loob ng custom audience na yon, mas lumiliit yung custom audience kasi hindi nga siya nare-refresh. Okay? And then in effect, if the source custom audience has less reliable data, therefore, yung gagawin mo na look-alike audience from that source custom audience will also be messed up. Diba? Hindi na siya accurate. Hindi na siya ganun ka-reliable. Alright? And the exclusion of custom audiences will not be as effective as before. Merong actually mga disclaimers na nakalagay doon sa ads manager once you exclude audiences or mag-select ka ng custom audiences. May mga yellow na mga notice signs na nag-appear na doon. More of an FYI lang na yun nga, due to iOS 14 changes, blah, 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 and whatever. And you can check and read that if you are, gonna be starting or setting up those campaigns or ad sets, especially now na effective na yung iOS 14 updates and changes. Right. So what will you do? Diba? What will you do to take action, diba, against these changes? Para ma-maximize mo yung efforts din ni Facebook to lessen or to mitigate man lang the negative impacts or results. So number one is to use Business Manager. Okay? That's why you don't use your personal ad account. You use Business Manager and use an ad account under the Business Manager. And make sure that you verify the Business Manager as well. Number two is to verify your domain if you're redirecting people to your website from your ads. Okay? Number three is to set up the priority list of your pixel events. Okay, so that's also a tutorial on my YouTube channel. And that was, kind of brushed up on ni Julius dito sa chat natin kung ano yung parang mga priority list of the pixel events. Especially if you're focused on lead generation ba, or if you're focused on e-commerce, or if it's both. And then number four is to check the resource center in Ads Manager and make sure that you have made the necessary changes. Okay, so ito yung sa resource center. Alright, so ito yung sa Ads Manager ninyo once you have already accessed it. So nandito siya, resource center. Okay, and makikita mo na it's really all about iOS 14 updates and changes. Okay, so you can kailangan i-complete niyo yung mga tasks here. Okay, so review audiences that have decreased in size, review your impacted automated rules and all of that. Yung mga nakikita niyo sa akin dito may be different from what you will see in your Ads Manager kasi depende yun sa mga previous campaigns na meron kayo and yung mga settings na hindi nyo pa nasa-set. And you also have the updates here on the right. So ito yung updates, new limit on web events. A domain now needs to be selected for each ad to measure conversions, and audience sizes may decrease. And there's a lot information here about those specific updates and changes then. Okay? So here are some naman din. Hindi naman, not all, pero here are some advice on what to do, and not just to rely on Facebook or on your website, diba? So some of the things that next page pala ata to. Ayan. So resource center, this is it. And then number five is to set up your conversions API. So medyo technical din to. But if you are using Shopify, it's very easy lang kasi once you've already connected the Facebook app in Shopify, you just have to make sure na nakaset to maximum yung parang data sharing there. Okay? For WooCommerce naman, if you have a WordPress website and you have WooCommerce there for e-commerce, you just have to make sure that the WooCommerce plugin is updated to the latest version, and that will already take care of the conversions API. For manually doing the conversions API, is very technical na. So I would suggest that you just use partner integration. Okay. Number 6 is to set the attribution window. So in setting the attribution window, this is in the ad set level. Okay. So we suggest that you only use one attribution window. Kasi if may iba't iba kang campaigns, iba't iba yung attribution windows, hindi siya mag-report sa summary, hindi mo makikita yung summary ng data. Okay? So it's best if you just use one attribution window, 7 days click, that's already good. And that's what you use moving forward for all campaigns. Para yung total results, magde-display siya. Kasi pag iba-iba, like let's say in the previous campaigns mo, meron ka pang 28-day na attribution window, and then ang new campaigns mo ay 7-day attribution window, hindi magpapakita ng total yon if you go to the campaigns list. You have to select isa-isa dun sa ad set para makita mo yung total results. Alright? And exclude audience network in your placement targeting. Okay? So we have a lot of placements available for placements targeting. Diba? You have desktop newsfeed, you have mobile newsfeed, you have Instagram, you have search results, you have Messenger, and all of that. So, ang gagawin nyo is that you don't use automatic placements anymore. You select manual placements, and pag select nyo kasi ng manual placements, naka-check pa rin lahat. So, just uncheck yung audience network. Okay? Use UTMs for Google Analytics tracking. So, that's technical na. But if you really want to track, you have separate tracking aside from just Facebook Pixel in your website, then you have to use UTMs for Google Analytics tracking sa ads mo. So you can search a lot of tutorials about that on how to use that for your Facebook ads. Okay, so that is it. That is for the Facebook Ads Survival Guide 2021, and we can go ahead now with Q&A. So it's a lot of details na diniscuss here. It's a combination of basic details and advanced technical details then. Okay. From Julie, you can just go ahead and raise your hand then if you have a question so that I can acknowledge yung question ninyo and then you can speak then. Let me stop sharing pala. All right. Okay, so let's clarify here. Here's my current setup for a client from Julius. All right. 1 ad account, 1 pixel, 2 websites, root domains for the same offer. Okay? Separated lang for branding purposes and specific marketing strategy. Okay? Di ba 8 events per root domain name naman? So technically, I can set up 2 separate aggregated events. Yes, that's correct. As long as it's a different pixel. Okay? Different pixel na connected to the domain, and pwede ka mag-set up nung 8 events na yun. So, hindi siya pwede isang pixel to 2 domains. And then, what's holding us back to have separate pixel is the same lang naman yung offers.
1 pixel lang, bro. 2 domains.
1 pixel, 2 domains?
Yeah.
Sa aggregated events?
Yes, bro. Yes, bro. Bali, yung isang pixel lang naka-install sa two domains, two root domains kasi nga, yun nga, parang yun nag-hold back sa amin. The same lang naman talaga yung offer. Ayaw lang kasi ni client ipagalaw yung isang website. Ayaw niyang ipagalaw. So,
ang ano ko lang doon is that worst comes to worst, what if maano yung isang domain, if ma-disable yung isang pixel doon, so both domains are affected.
oh yeah. Yun din naman yung naisip ko, but wala namang marketing efforts na ginagawa dun si client. It's just that naka-install lang talaga yung pixel doon.
Okay.
So may data history na rin. So nasayangan lang din talaga kami na kasi nakita ko thousands na rin eh. So sayang din. And then maraming regular traffic doon, and then wala namang ads na pinapatakbo specifically for that website.
Okay, kung marami naman siyang views or traffic, I would just use that to create a custom audience, and then para to use that custom audience na for the ads, pero not specifically for tracking or anything doon sa second website na yun. Parang magre-redirect pa rin siya doon sa, yung campaign will redirect still doon sa parang main nyo kung saan kayo nagta-track talaga.
Okay, so best is to create 2 separate pixel talaga, no, bro?
Oo, if you really want to be to make sure na walang anything na technically wrong na mangyayari in the future. So yun na yung parang best practice na ginagawa ng iba ngayon is 1 pixel connected to 1 ad account and connected to 1 domain. There is an option kasi to have multiple domains under 1 ad account kasi in every ad, in the ad level, you can select kasi kung anong domain yung gagamitin mo for the pixel tracking. Pero medyo hassle pa yun if marami kang ads kasi you have to isa-isa all of them.
Yeah, that's right, bro. I agree. Yeah, thanks.
Sure, you're welcome, Jules. Anyone else who has a question naman, whether it's related dun sa presentation natin or specifically just about yung Facebook ads ninyo, you can ask here. We have a short Q&A naman. Any questions pa ba? What other topics about Facebook ads that you are curious about or interested about? Can you expound on CPAS? Okay, from AC. So CPaaS is actually for the main use case for CPaaS is actually for a third party na website. Say for example to Lazada or Shopee, diba? You, the domains are not owned by you, okay? So that's why for them to advertise, for you to advertise on Facebook, if you want to track yung mga add to cart dun sa Lazada site for your product specifically or Shopee, then you have to use CPaaS. There is kasi, ang downside lang dyan is that not everyone can use it kasi there are certain requirements, especially when it comes to the ad spend. And there are certain um, there are certain categories na kailangan mo ma-fulfill muna before ka makagamit at maka-access ng CPaaS for those specific platforms. Before, I'm not sure if it's still the requirement now, but before, for both Lazada and Shopee is that dapat 50,000 yung minimum ad spend mo per month para maka-access ka ng CPaaS. So the alternative, if you don't really have that historical spend to be able to apply to use CPaaS, is that message campaigns na lang. And then you just have the product link doon sa welcome message yung campaign or yung welcome message nung automated response nga from the campaign. Ayun. But if your clients naman are spending a lot, they're on those different platforms that have CPaaS, then you can just contact the platforms to apply for CPaaS. Okay? From Odd, what strat is effectively working right now? Okay, this is a very broad question naman, Odd. Can you be more specific? Is it a specific industry, a niche, or something like that? Okay. Can you share specific personalities, pages, email subscriptions that you follow, or even private groups that you keep yourself updated with Facebook ads in general, as well as with technical aspects? Okay, sure thing. Number one is Depeche Mandalia. He has his own Facebook group. Let me check kung ano yung Facebook group niya ulit. Yung Facebook group niya is Facebook Ads Experts Academy ata. So I would say that, yeah, Facebook Ads Experts Academy by Depeche Mandalia. And then he's very updated kasi there, especially when it comes to iOS 14 changes. So doon ang pina-follow ko rin at nagbabasa din ako ng a lot there. From one of the pina-follow ko before ng mga influencers, si Nicholas Kuzmich, because of advanced Facebook ad strategies. Although I'm in the inner circle kasi ngayon, it's closed. It's a closed group, pero that's where I learn a lot of stuff. It's not just with Facebook ads, but with funnels and strategies, tracking, reporting, and all of that. And may clients din ako before doon. And sino pa ba? Last, top 3 ko siguro, Depeche, Nicholas, and si Manuel Suarez. So Manuel Suarez, both for Facebook ads and chatbots. Ayun. Okay. From AC, I attended a webinar earlier about Facebook ads as well, and a FB media buyer from abroad said that narrow audience is not recommendable anymore if you target international locations. Do you agree? Yes, I would agree. The narrower the audience, especially now, is that it's a higher cost per result. So what I would suggest is to target a broad audience muna. Even other people are using broad targeting or open targeting without any much without any exclusions, without any interest, without exclusions, because they are letting Facebook algorithm do the work. They're letting the Facebook algorithm do the work. As long as relevant yung and very on point yung ad copy mo and yung ad creative naman and the message overall, madedetect yan ni Facebook eh. And if Facebook has the leeway, that's why hence the broad targeting or hence the open targeting, if they have the leeway to show it to the people na sa tingin nila who will most likely resonate with the ad, then they will be able to show that. If not, dahil narrow nga yung audience or my restrictions, you're not giving them the creative freedom to show your ads, you're not giving Facebook the freedom to show your ads to those people na what if pala, itong group of people na to, based on Facebook's learning, algorithm and all of that AI is that magko-convert pala sila or they will resonate with that ad. As long as very on point talaga yung message, very clear, very intentional. So yun. Lahat po yun ng foreign people. Lahat po yun foreign people. Yes, lahat ng minention ko na mga people na fina-follow ko are foreigners. Okay? From Alu. Have you heard of the Bobo method? By who? I'm not sure. I think there's a lot of versions of this Bobo method. Is this local or foreign ba? Itong Bobo method. And in for what type of niche ba? E-commerce, lead generation, or something? Okay. Local po yung nagsabi. E-commerce, Bobo method. I'm not sure. I think I may have heard of it, but maybe a different version of it. Can you detail what does the method mean? It's an acronym for something? Local, haha, e-com. Okay. I'm not sure. Sorry, what was the question about this local e-com? Di na daw kailangan. Di na daw kailangan ang targeting. Okay. Bobo method, no interest. Okay. Yeah. That's the broad targeting or open targeting. Na as in wala kang any narrowing, open lang yung age, yung gender, no interest, no exclusions, and all of that. FB group that I mentioned earlier, Facebook Ads Experts Academy. And of course, you should also be on the Facebook Ads Marketers PH group. Okay, so that's our group. Does that work, the Bobo method? Only data will tell. Okay, so if there are some niches or industries, some setups, some products, some services that the Bobo method works, but you have to let the data that you will collect tell you if it's working for you or not, because all of the campaigns, all of the setups are unique. Okay, you have to get the data so that you can make an informed decision if nag-work ba yun or hindi. From Sheena. Hi Sheena, disabled po yung unang ad account ko. So it's best to create a new pixel for my new ad account. Yes, that's right. I cannot associate my old pixel to my new ad account. Yes, that's correct. If your pixel is connected to a disabled ad account, you can't use it anymore. So, bago. I will reiterate na lang siguro some of the best practices then, or some of the things that you can take action on, all right? Na aside from the ones na minention ko dito sa presentation. So this is just very quick na lang naman, okay? So have other sources of data, okay? Not just Facebook, but you can also diversify on other platforms, be it on YouTube, be it on TikTok, wherever else pa man that you can get, other information or other types of people, other types of audiences, other types of data. Mahirap kasi kung magre-rely ka lang sa isang platform ngayon. Kasi what if mangyari nga yung mga top errors na yun, di ba? Or nawalan ka ng access or madi-disable and all of that. So, you need to be present, or some clients as well, they need to be present. Some companies are present in a lot of other social media accounts din. Kasi they know that something may happen in the future and they have to be prepared for it. Okay? Monitor your accounts, especially after April 26. If you're running ads, we are closely monitoring yung mga results and accounts, especially we are taking note of it na. Kasi we want to know what's the difference of the campaigns running before April 26 and then after April 26 para magkaroon kami ng comparison. Okay, let me answer pala some questions here. Do you consider item price sa ads budget? It's a very broad question. Item price sa ads budget. Yes, of course, you have to consider yung item price kasi if di naman pala masyado mahal yung item mo, di ba? Tapos ang laki ng ads budget mo, tapos hindi naman nag-generate ng maraming sales. So baka dapat, babaan mo yung ad budget mo. Or you make a bundle maybe, or taasan mo yung price. There's a lot of calculations for that. I don't have a personal calculation of it. As long as dapat profitable ka. In the end, dapat profitable ka. Kasi kung hindi, kung lugi ka, you have to change your strategy. Or maybe Facebook ads may not be the best advertising option for that type of item or product. Buhay pa po ba personal ad account nyo? Hindi, matagal na siyang patay. Matagal na siyang disabled ang aking personal ad account with no reason. Mga ilang times ko rin siya in-appeal over the years. Nare-reverse, pero I think last year was final na talaga siya na-disable. So yun, ayaw na ibalik. Sheena, parang super technical na po yung Google Ads. Actually, madali na yung Google Ads. Kasi ginagawa ko yun before for clients din. Search and display ads, kasi madali lang for keywords and all of that. Ngayon, hindi na ako sure kung madali pa ba or hindi na. Kasi matagal na rin ako hindi nag-Google Ads. But we're gonna be revisiting that. We're gonna be maybe opening our Google Ads department sa agency kasi nga, we have to diversify. And we have YouTube na kasi, so we have to also explore that. Gaano na po kayo katagal sa industry na to? Going 6 years? 5, magsi 6 years. Okay. So yun. So kahit matagal na yung mga ibang tao sa industry, marami pa rin changes and updates. Feeling namin parang newbie pa rin kami actually, especially sa iOS 14. Alright. What else pa ba? Yun lang naman. Any other questions? Any other people here who want to speak ba or provide some additional information dito sa ating Facebook Ad Survival Guide 2021 na webinar? Julius, do you have anything else pa ba based on your campaigns and clients then?
Yun lang. Very important to know kung yung offer ba is for Facebook ads or Google ads. Kasi there are many services out there na hindi talaga acceptable kay Facebook. And kagaya ng sinabi ni Coach LJ kanina na ma-technical ka talaga sa nudity kung kung nate-technical ka na nga na wala namang nudity yung offer mo, how much more if you're offering something like liposuction or what, di ba? So yan.
All right. Yes, thank you very much, Jules. So, it's common ngayon naman na if you do get the errors in Facebook, sometimes it is accurate, sometimes it's not, sometimes it's very alarming. Bakit ito yung reason na binigay sa akin na for disapproval or account restriction? Bakit ito daw yung reason na binayolate? Di naman, 'di ba? So that's part of the industry. That's part of their system. So sobrang galing ng system nila, parang nag-overdrive na or nag-over calculate na. 'Di ba? Parang advance masyado mag-isip na yung system nila. Kaya ginagawa na nila yun in advance. So yun.
Yes, bro. Tsaka yung mga very important din pala yung copy kasi may mga keywords lang talaga na nagti-trigger when you remove that keyword, it will be approved na.
Yes. Ang pinaka-weird siguro sa akin was that a messages campaign objective, and then ang disapproval reason, that one of the weirdest lang is that messages campaign nga siya, pero ang disapproval reason is non-functioning landing page. So, tiningnan ko yung ad ulit. Bakit non-functioning landing page? Messages campaign objective naman. So, hindi to magda-direct to a website. So, appeal ako, chat support. Hindi ko na malaya na sa copy ko pala, meron yung website link doon. So, kaya kinount pa rin siya as non-functioning landing page. Or parang the landing page is violating policies or whatever. Kasi may link pala within the copy, kahit messages campaign objective siya. So, tinanggal ko lang yung link doon sa ad copy, sinabit ko ulit, and then okay na siya. So, yun lang. So, yung chat support pa yung nakakita nun. Ako, hindi ko na namalaya na meron pala. Beside FB ads, saang platform ninyo prefer gumawa ng ads? Google Ads. If tatanungin ako for my second gusto, and if gagawin ko ulit, Google Ads. Marky, top 3 best advices for aspiring FB Ads Freelancers Coach. Okay, so yung top 3 advice, so yung kanina na sinabi ko, so number 1 is that learn the basic fundamentals of digital marketing na, di ba? What is it about? Especially psychology and purchase behavior. You don't have to be very specific. You just need to get an idea on how digital marketing works. And then you have to familiarize yourself with the platform. So the platform is Facebook Ads, specifically Business Manager. If you're gonna be working for clients kasi, there may have requests, diba? Or they may have some instructions that you have to do this and that. And if you're not that familiar with the platform yet, then most likely hindi mo magagawa yung kanilang instructions or ma-meet yung kanilang expectation, diba? So you have to really kalikot-kalikot yung mga bagay-bagay na ganyan. Don't worry, hindi naman yung puputok. Hindi naman sasabog yung laptop or yung desktop pag may mali kang nagawa or may mali kang na-click doon. So you just have to familiarize yourself. And in familiarizing yourself, it's good to implement kung ano yung na-learn mo na. Kung ano yung mga steps na napapollow mo sa mga tutorials or mga nababasa mo, di ba? So it's good that you're implementing kahit trial-trial lang. Yung mga pinapakita ko sa inyo, guys, this is, and yung mga, especially yung mga steps to take for your personal account, your business account, it's parang ina-assume ko na you are running your own business on Facebook. That's why you're setting that up. Pero if you are going to do that for a client or you're going to be working for a client, then they have to set that up. And you can teach them how to do that or you can offer that as a service as well. So, business manager verification pa lang, ina-offer ko na yan as a service. Domain verification, ina-offer ko din yan as a service for clients. Kasi hindi nila alam paano gawin yung ibang mga yun, yung mga technical masyado, diba? So, if you know how to do that, then you can sell that service. And promise, madali lang gawin yung mga yun. Okay. All right. I'll just answer some last few questions and then we'll wrap it up. From Odd, newbie question. How to find the first client, and if wala pa results or portfolio, how will I offer my service? Okay. So I would advise you to go to my free webinar, which is also on YouTube naman, sa YouTube channel ko, adsintensive.com/webinar. So that is where I show how to get started as a Facebook ads freelancer and how to earn 6 digits per month as a Facebook ads freelancer. So let me type that. Give me one moment here. adsintensive.com/webinar. So that's just a recording of my previous webinar. I've done that webinar last year how many times na live, and then yun nga, it's already just recorded in my YouTube channel. So pa-subscribe na lang din because I'll be releasing newer videos and updated videos. Hinihintay ko lang actually talaga yung iOS 14 changes and updates before I release new videos kasi nagbabago yung mga maraming nagbago nga. So ayoko mag-create ng mga outdated videos naman. From Lemuel, regarding Facebook's chat support live, how do you contact Facebook directly? So Lemuel, this is actually in the Ads Intensive Mastery course. Okay, so go ahead and check the details. But if you want the direct details, just go to Facebook Business Support, the Facebook page, and then just click the link there. Disclaimer lang, not everyone, not all Facebook accounts or Facebook users have the availability to contact Facebook chat support or live chat support. Okay, that's something that they have changed that has been going on for a few years na. Medyo bias sila or medyo hindi sila pantay-pantay ngayon. So, I'm grateful na I can still contact Facebook chat support directly, but some of our students, they don't have that option. May bagong interface si Facebook, Facebook Business Suite. So, if you have that new Facebook Business Suite, that's just the same as Facebook Business Manager. Kaming mga old people, may mga old accounts, Facebook Business Manager yung amin, and hindi pa nagsiswitch, or ewan ko kung isi-switch pa rin ba yung accounts namin to the new interface, which is Business Suite. Pero nakita ko na rin yung Business Suite from some of my students, and it's basically the same lang. Same principle, same setup. Bagong pangalan. Sheena, YouTube Ads Coach. Okay ba? Sino, ikaw ba? Ayoko mag-YouTube Ads Coach. Joke lang. Ano po yung stacking? Stacking. Sa interest list, isa-stack mo sila. So, ilalagay mo sila lahat in one interest group. Okay? So, yun, interest stacking. So, yung conditioner is that magiging interested in number 1 or number 2 or number 3 or number 4. Narrowing is yung end condition, interested in interest number 1 and number 2 and number 3. So, yun yung narrowing. Sheena, mag-chatbot na ako. Yes, go, mag-chatbot ka na lang. Mas madali yun. Ayan, okay. Ayan, Alma. Yes, thank you very much. See you there. Yeah, Odd, surely will subscribe. Follow kita lagi everywhere. Grabe naman. Punta ka dito, Davao. Okay, yes, yung bagong, bagong interface. Okay, from Odd. Yes, yung narrowing is also called layering. So, layer 1, layer 2, layer 3. Stacking is yung ilalagay sila in just one layer lang. Okay.